Welcome to beautiful and historic Forest Park this morning. I'm Anthony Signoli, and I gotta tell you, I feel like a little kid on Christmas morning today. I really do. Over 25 years ago, a wonderful group of great people who loved this city so much came together to start something beautiful and bright. They knew that their city needed something truly great then, something extraordinary to lift up the spirits of the people here and everywhere in a very dark time. It needed to be something so great. I feel really is. It had to be so bright that it would lead the way to this place, to this park that Olmsted and Barney blessed, and that no less than Dr. Seuss made world renowned. It's dark again in America and all over the world. Never more than now do we need a special brightness shining in the night here at home. Those assembled here today, from the original co-creators of Bright Nights to the outstanding members and leaders of the greater Springfield business community, our sponsors, have done something wonderful yet again. To share this new achievement with you, I present to you the co-creators of Bright Nights at Forest Park, Judy Matt, President of the Spirit of Springfield, and Patrick Sullivan, Executive Director of Parks, Buildings, and Recreation Management.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome to Forest Park. We're very proud to be announcing this today. This decision didn't come lightly. As you know, there's many CDC guidelines and so forth put in place as we've all gotten through to this point. We have worked with Bob Kirchner and our Commissioner of Health and Human Service, Helen Colton Harris. Bob Kirchner is an industrial hygienist. He works for all the hospitals in the area and really across the United States, advising people on air quality issues. So we have put in place for our crews all the necessary protocols for them to safely put up the displays. And Bob and Helen have also worked with Judy and her staff and put in the protocols for the front gate. So I want everyone to be reassured you're welcome, and I think there isn't more of a time in our country that we need some bright nights and something like this, and we're so proud that the city of Springfield hosts Bright Nights at Forest Park. So we look forward to seeing everyone in November. Thank you.
Boy, are we happy we're here. That's all I can say. You've heard the song, "We Need a Little Christmas"? Well, we need not a little, a lot of bright nights right now. A sentiment that's echoed among many as they wondered, will we have bright nights this year? Now more than ever, as everyone's going to say today, Springfield needs the pride of hosting this event, and we will. Thanks to its many cheerleaders like Mayor Sarno, the city's own health commissioner, Helen Colton Harris, and my partner, Pat Sullivan. I'd also like to give a shout out for two important leaders of our local medical community, Dr. Mark Kerouac, President and CEO of Bay State Health, and Dr. Robert Roos, Chief Medical Officer at Mercy Medical Center, who gave their stamp of approval along with Helen for Bright Nights, which is inherently safe for an event that's built around cars driving through our magical forest. And I'd just like to add that if Dr. Fauci were asked, he would probably endorse our efforts too. And maybe we'll ask him to turn the lights on this year. Every display the visitors have come to love over the past 25 years will be back. The welcoming giant red poinsettias as you enter Forest Park, our icy blue winter garden, and the 3.5 miles of beautiful lights. We will have a very special surprise that we'll be talking about, a new display that we'll have this year, and we'll be having an announcement of that shortly. We're just so happy to announce this today. I want you to know that one of Mayor Sarno's big concerns was, will Santa be here? I'm happy to say that the Jolly Old Elf will be back as promised to be at the front gate waving to everyone as they begin their magical journey through Bright Nights. Paul Picknell has offered us an igloo that's heated, so Santa could come in and out and wave to the kids. In closing, during these challenging times for all of us, there's still some traditions that must continue, some normalcy to maintain, some light for people to have a hope in. Bright Nights is that light.
I received a number of comments about the park and how beautiful it is, and I'm very lucky that I work for Mayor Sarno, who gives us the resources, and our park chairman, Brian Santinella, was here today. But the mayor has brought the city through these very difficult times. We went green, and I really credit that to the mayor and Helen Calton Harris. So it's my pleasure now to introduce Mayor Dominic Sarno.
Good morning. It's a beautiful, idyllic morning right here in the city of Springfield. And I know when you hear about Yankee Stadium, you say the house that Ruth built. You think of Forest Park and you think of Frederick Homestead who built this, but this is really the house that Patrick Sullivan and his team built. And again, to the newspaper, publisher, the whole team there, we love those socks. Love those socks there. Boy, let me tell you something. Do we need this shot in the arm more than ever with bright nights? And Judy, you know how irrepressible Judy Mack can be. And I know when her reach out and sometimes she'd shed a little tear in her eye. You know, we gotta find a way to do this. And I said, nobody wants to have bright nights more than I do, or maybe a tie with each and every one of us. But we have to. We're dealing with this pandemic, the COVID-19, which we will defeat, And I said, as long as we can continue to file the guidelines on public health with Commissioner Helen Calton Harris and Pat Sullivan, Bob Kirshner, Commissioner Clapprood, with the police, and with DPW Director Chris Signoli, and all, and the spirit of Springfield being, again, willing to work with us, we're going to try damn hard to get this thing going. So we are going to have it. I'm very excited about it. Bright Nights is just, again, for many, many years, and I know Paul, his father, God rest his soul, Peter Sr., how special this continues to be, whether young or old, wise in years of wisdom, a twinkle in the eye that is put in everybody that comes through here, from near and far, and it's become a tradition. And I want to thank very much so, our business community and our philanthropic community. Every time we ask them to step up, they do for fantastic causes such as Bright Night. Let's give them a big round of applause. So Judy and the others will speak about, there's going to be certain criteria on how you can enter and how you can purchase tickets. It's going to be safe, it's going to be sound, it's going to be healthy, and more important, just as important as that, it is going to be a huge morale boost, not only for the city of Springfield, but for Western Massachusetts, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and dare I say, United States of America, because we have people from all across the country that come here to Bright Nights, one of the top 10 destinations on a number of lists. So, Judy, thanks for hanging in there and working with us, and thank you to all the generous benefactors. But I am looking forward to it, get those lights lit up, and looking forward to Santa coming out of the igloo for our kids. So once again, or should I say, Springfield will continue to shine. Good health and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Sarno. America has Anthony Fauci. The city of Springfield has got an amazing healthcare leader. And I'll tell you something, the story behind the scenes here, as hard as all of these people worked, as much encouragement as there was from people like George Orwadi and Nancy Creed and Paul Picknell, who was like a little kid just saying, we gotta have Christmas. There's one person who worked this so hard, and often she does it so quietly, and that is no less than our wonderful Helen Calton Harris, Commissioner, Springfield Department of Health and Human Services. Thank you, Helen, for all you've done. Please.
Thank you so much. It is really an amazing day, and it's so wonderful to be here. Let me begin by thanking Mayor Dominic J. Sarno for his support and his leadership during what has been extremely difficult times for the city of Springfield and our residents. I want to thank the board of the Spirit of Springfield. The board of the Spirit of Springfield, when we met with them to discuss this, It was their Vice President, Mr. Schoberg, who said in his opening comments, we really need to think about the emotional and mental health of the residents of the city of Springfield. Now that's unusual for an individual to start a meeting with that statement, but it went right to the purpose. We believe that health is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And so the spiritual health of our city, the emotional health of our city is very important to us. We have watched across this nation as over 200,000 individuals have lost their lives. Here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that number is over 7,000. In the city of Springfield, we've lost 131 residents to this terrible virus. And so it is a moment to celebrate. In the city of Springfield, the mayor and I have had to make some very difficult decisions. There has not been a lot to celebrate when we've had to cancel the pancake breakfast, the 4th of July celebration, the Jazz and Roots Festival, the Stone Soul Festival, the Puerto Rican Day Parade. We've had to ask our residents not to go door to door and trick or treat this year. Yes, we've had to make some very difficult decisions, and we've asked our residents to sacrifice. That's why it is wonderful to stand here and say, Bright Nights will move forward. We thank the board of the Spirit of Springfield and certainly Judy Matt for their steadfast courage in continuing to move us forward. When we met, they gave to us, the board and Judy Matt, their COVID-19 plan. The mayor and I and Patrick Sullivan and all who work in city government needed to be assured that anyone who came into the city of Springfield, anyone who came to celebrate Bright Nights was going to be safe, was going to be secure, and that we had a mechanism in place to do contact tracing, a mechanism in place to do follow-up, and again, the safety and health of the residents of Springfield and all who come to Bright Nights were of the uppermost importance to us. And so I'm grateful to the board of the Spirit of Springfield, and like the mayor and all of you, I look forward to celebrating this year. I want to just simply as well thank the sponsors, because without you, there is no Bright Nights. There are many activities in the city depend on sponsorships, and so thank you to the sponsors, thank you to the board of the Spirit of Springfield, thank you to Patrick Sullivan, and thank you, Mayor Dominic J. Sarno. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Helen. That was grand and appropriate at that time then. Based on Helen mentioning the sponsors, this doesn't happen without sponsors, and I'd like to recognize them now. AAA of Pioneer Valley, Belize Auto, Bay State Health, Big Y, World Class Markets, Charlie Arment Trucking, Inc., Comcast, Eversource Energy, Gleason, John Drow Landscaping, Health New England, iHeartMedia, Mass Live, Mass Mutual, Mercy Medical Center, Trinity Health of New England, MGM Springfield, MPPC, People's Bank, The Republican, Sheridan Springfield, Springfield Thunderbirds, and WWLP TV 22 News. Thank you very, very much. What you do is above and beyond. And George Arwadi and Mark French are here with us from The Republican. Bob Salome and John Barron are here with us from TV 22. Our friends from West Mass News are here. I would be remiss not to mention a great supporter of Bright Nights, the executive editor of The Reminder, Michael Dobbs, is here with us. And as I look around, there is someone who always needs no introduction. She's not speaking today, which is unusual for a Bright Nights event, but because of her, we're able to do a lot of what is unique to be done this year. And that's our police commissioner, Cheryl Clapper. Thank you so much for all you do, and above and beyond on this event, incredibly so. We'd like to acknowledge the board of the Spirit of Springfield, the members that are with us right now, Kathy Tobin, John Hessline, Connie O'Brien, and John Schober. And again, we cannot say enough about our friends in healthcare. Dr. Roos, Dr. Pizzoli at Mercy Hospital. Here today is Dan Keenan representing the health organization. And I should say also that Kathy Tobin represents us here today with Bay State Health. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Dan. The Mary Kay has got pink Cadillacs. This Mary Kay is going to have a lot of different colored lights to use and utilize this year as she helps promote our neck of the woods. So let me introduce the president of the Greater Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau, Mary Kay Wyden.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for the introduction, Tony. I'm so glad to be here to represent the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Western Mass hospitality industry as the Spirit of Springfield announces that Bright Nights will in fact happen in 2020. Learning that news from Judy with a phone call last week was probably the best call I've had in a really long time, and it was a long summer thinking about it, and we're so glad it's happening. Bright Nights is, as the mayor said, a true tradition. It's it's something that's made the holiday special for a lot of people since 1995. And as other people have said earlier, I think this is a year we're going to need the lights. It's been a very non-traditional, it's been a dark year with COVID, and I think those lights are going to kind of be the comfort food for the soul for a lot of people as we drive through and see the exhibit this year. When I think about Bright Nights, I think of excellence, and I think, first and foremost, Judy and the team at Spirit of Springfield, Pat and his crew at Forest Park. They're a tremendous example of excellence in terms of teamwork, excellence in promotion, excellence in logistics, and then of course, just the amazing lights themselves. It's a well-oiled machine from start to finish, so kudos to the crew and SOS for doing this so very well. As you know, the Bureau is a marketing organization, first and foremost. Our job is to promote this region and all the special attributes and attractions. And Bright Nights is a marketer's dream. I mean, how can you not sell something this big, this bright, and this well done? It's such an amazing visual experience, and we are beyond delighted that it's going to happen this holiday season. We hope to see carloads of visitors going through Forest Park, and when they're done here or before they get here, we hope that they'll grab a bite to eat in one of our local restaurants, maybe catch another attraction, the Hall of Fame, the museums, and then, of course, if they can, spend the night. So we plan, and I told Judy I would definitely say this, we plan to hype the hell out of Bright Nights this year. Thank you, Judy, and best wishes for Bright Nights 2020.
Thank you so much, Mary Kay. Deeply appreciated. Another special sponsor and friend to us is here today, representing the 104th, Colonel Tom Bladen, Base Commander at Barnes. Thank you so much for all you and yours do. I'm not supposed to announce this because it's not news yet. George, it's not news yet, but Judy kind of got excited and I got excited about it. And I think this is the place to announce this before our next speaker. If Peter Picknell Sr. were here with us today, he would literally do cartwheels up and down the driveway of the Barney Carriage House. Bright Nights has earned its ranking year after year on the American Bus Association's list of top holiday lighting displays in America. Peter would love this because this is absolutely amazing. The American Bus Association has now named Bright Nights at Forest Park the very best, #1 holiday light display in the United States of America. Mary Kay, I think you can use that without a doubt. Woo! The passion and the power behind the scenes. And I can be blunt on this, I think, Paul, the checkbook behind the original Bright Nights. The fellow who I remember saying, we gotta do this. Almost the exact same thing his son said when we talked about it this year before we got all this rolling, Mayor. This has gotta happen. You can't not have Bright Nights. We owe a lot to this guy. He's always there for us. So I'd like to introduce now Paul Picknell, President of Monarch Enterprises. Paul.
Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day it is. A couple of years ago, I was attending another Spirit of Springfield event. I think it was a breakfast at the Sheraton. and I spoke and talked about Judy Matt, and at that time I introduced her as Springfield's Ghostbuster. And I did that because when you need to get things done in Springfield, who do you call? Judy Matt, right? So if the mayor wants to invite 100,000 people to downtown Springfield to watch fireworks, who do you call? When MGM plans the reopening of the grand opening of their casino, and they want to have a parade down Main Street, who are you going to call? And when you want to host a pancake breakfast for 20,000 people, who do you call but Judy Matt? Now, if you go back in memory, if you saw the Ghostbuster movie, which I believe most of you have, each one of those Ghostbusters left their job to become a Ghostbuster. And I was thinking, what job would that have been for Judy Matt? And I came up with the Postmaster General. And why? Because she lives by the saying, neither rain nor snow, nor sleet or hail, and in this case, the world's largest pandemic, can't keep the spirit of Springfield from hosting Bright Nights at Forest Park. That took me a few minutes to do, by the way, Judy. But Judy knew that in order for Bright Nights to happen this year, things had to be adjusted. Early on, Judy called many of her friends to help out with this task. And there are many people to thank, and others have already done so, and I don't want to repeat them, but I want to especially thank Mayor Sarno and all of his cabinet members who truly wanted to work with us and the board of the Spirit of Springfield to make sure that this wonderful tradition is intact and ensure that everybody who leaves Forest Park is safe. So on behalf of my family, including my father, and on behalf of every family who's coming to Bright Nights at Forest Park this year, we thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being creative and making this one of the biggest and brightest years of all. Thank you for attending, and really thank you, Judy Matt, for everything you've done, not only today, but for the past 25 years with Bright Nights at Forest Park. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paul Picknell. Wonderful. There is history written that includes the names of the chairman of the Park Commission of this park over the decades. It's a park of history. It's a park certainly known worldwide because of Dr. Seuss. So to be the chairman of the Springfield Park Commission is a pretty big deal when you're responsible for a place like this and all the other parks in the city of Springfield. He's got many titles. I always like to call him the Dean, because that's how we always remember him at the Springfield City Council. And I love calling him friend. And that is Brian Santinello, Chair of the Springfield Park Commission. Brian, please come up.
I'll make my remarks brief. I just want to thank everyone that's up here today. I want to thank Mayor Sarno, Pat Sullivan, Judy Matt, Helen Calton, everyone who's here, Paul Picknell. Helen said it perfectly. With all the things that have been canceled in the city of Springfield, people feel pent up. They want something to do. And what better to do this fall and winter would be Bright Nights. I think this is going to be the biggest Bright Nights that we've ever seen because of that. And I want to thank everyone. I also want to thank the governor. This is something that we worked on, the mayor's worked on, and now it's a reality. So let's make it happen. Let's tell everyone about it, and let's make this a full park, full participation, especially for the kids. Thank you.
Helen Calton Harris's comments about our next speaker say it all. His concern was not just about turning on lights. It was about the health, the welfare, the very spirit of everyone out there that needed a little something this year. Passionate is an understatement for him about this event. And just before I introduce him, I want to say this. Most of you know that he is Swedish, and I just want to, Swedish American, and I just want to point out, while there are these cool socks being worn by so many here today, when you're Swedish in late September, you still don't wear socks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice Chairman of the Spirit of Springfield Board, John Schober.
Thanks for pointing that out, Anthony. My wife Brenda would be thrilled to hear about that. But thank you for those kind words. I'm actually here on representing the board, more importantly, and Kathy Tobin, John Hessline, who are here today. And we just want the opportunity to express our thanks and gratitude to everyone who made this announcement possible. And we go back to March when we first learned of this pandemic, and we began to hear the words that we are all in this together, and that it is together that we will get through this. And I don't think truer words have ever been spoken, and particularly relative to the city of Springfield and to our community. And from the board's perspective, the importance of this event. So we did come together thanks to the leadership of Mayor Sarno and his entire team. We received guidance from the Health Commissioner, from the Parks Department, from Commissioner Clapprood, from the Public Works Department. Literally everyone had some guidance to help us, and we came together and collaborated to make that possible. And they recognize, and these words have been spoken today, the importance of this year above all other years for Bright Nights. And sure, it's important, the economic income that comes to us, notoriety and pride we have in our own city. It's important for people to finally get out and do something with each other. Young kids, old folks, generations together celebrating. All of those things extremely important. Overcoming the depression, just an outlet. And we know this isn't going to solve all of our problems that we have. But I would suggest to you that for about an hour or two it will. And that's a start, and that's a catalyst. And what we look for in just the symbol of light, in nearly every culture, every ideology, every ethnicity across the world, light is a very, very important symbol. We use it for symbols. Whether we're celebrating, putting lights on a cake to celebrate, whether we mourn, we light a candle for a vigil, or in the darkness during the holiday seasons, we light our Christmas trees, maybe we light the menorah, we adorn our properties for others to see. Light has always been a harbor of comfort and hope and renewal, the same way it is every morning when we wake up, overcoming the darkness in a sense of new and hope. So all of these team members that brought it together, keeping in mind all the importance to this organization, sustaining the spirit of Springfield to give all these free events throughout the year possible. But most importantly, that this will be a symbol of a year ending, a year we all want to forget. It's going to overlap from 2020 into 2021, bringing us to the new year of hope, togetherness, like we've come together, health, prosperity, and bringing together our community, all corners. So we ask our media partners here today, and I use the words of Mary Kay, to hype the hell out of this event. Not just for the importance, but for the symbol that it creates for all to come together and really, really do something special. So we ask you to embrace this, to invite everyone from all corners of our community and our region, from every walk of life, to come together. We will be recognizing our first responders during the event. We'll be recognizing our healthcare workers. We'll be representing our military, and all those, some have been forgotten during this year. This is our opportunity to say this is a new beginning, 2021. There are going to be brighter days, and they're going to start with bright nights. So God bless all of you. Thank you for your support, and let's go promote this on behalf of our great city. Thank you so much.
John said it well. Call your friends, call your cousins. Ask your cousin to call her best friend's mother's aunt. Let people know. Bright Nights is on, and Springfield welcomes people from Boston to Austin. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you.